ask you to use the Nernama detector once more?
What? Stanley has an imaginary friend?
It seems his imaginary friend is a seasoned warrior, covered in scars from head to foot, and a look of staunch determination on his face. You're saying his imaginary friend is an idealized version of his own self? Interesting idea, but is it true?
Please excuse me. I'll be leaving now.
Bye, Stanley. Do you two still have time to spare?
What is it?
A few days ago, Stanley got drunk and told me a secret. Something he's never told anyone before. The weapons he took on his adventure all those years ago, they were none other than those once wielded by Mondstadt's greatest hero, Vanessa herself. The Sword of Brilliant Valor and the Shield of Magnificent Honor. I don't know whether you believe me, but apparently, both the sword and shield are still right here in Mondstadt, over in Dadaupa Gorge. Since you guys are the experts at this, can you come with me to try and retrieve these two legendary weapons? You bet! This is Stanley we're talking about. If I can just get a hold of something impressive enough to show my family what I'm capable of, maybe they'll finally come around to the idea of me being an adventurer. Right now, I'm just a rookie. My abilities are limited, and my parents don't support my goals one bit. So, what do you say? Help a guy out? I can't bring myself to tell Stanley about it, because my reasons are so, selfish. But I swear I'll give the weapons back to him as soon as I'm done.
Aw, poor Jack. Let's help him out. Venti, you coming too?
I don't know.
Oh, one other thing. I have a bottle of rare vintage wine that I had someone fetch for me a couple years ago. Help me find these weapons, and it's all yours.
Dadaupa Gorge, was it? Let's hurry, there's no time to lose.
Hello, 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 hello.
हॅलो
बोल.
अरे अरे मी एका मिशनच्या लास्टला होतो तेवढ्यात तू रिवॉर्ड कलेक्ट करणार की तू लॉग इन केलंस माहिती का?
त्यासाठी तुला आधी मेसेज टाकला मी, तुझा काय रिप्लाय केला लॉग इन इकडे.
हो ना, माझं ते नेट बनत मला जाऊ दे, पुन्हा एकदा जातो मी ते करतो, एवढं काय अवघड नाही तिला. ते वेंटीचं अच्छा तिथूनच चालू झालं का तुझं? रिवॉर्ड कलेक्ट केला का?
तिथंच रिवॉर्ड केलं कलेक्ट.
बरं ते काय सांगत होतं त्या ह्याची वेनेसाची तलवार आणि शिल्ड काहीतरी?
हा तलवार काहीच नाही घंटा तिथं काहीच नसतं.
नाही का तिथं?
तुझ्याकडे हेल्थ नाही आहे मला, टॉवरकडे जाऊन यायला.
अरे पण बघ बरं तू ते स्पायरल मध्ये जाऊन नक्की 3 स्टार केल्यावर आहे का? मी ऑलरेडी घेतले, मला आठवण आहे, कारण मी एक प्रोटोटाइप क्रेसेंट तयार केलाय. तर ते प्रोटोटाइप प्रेसेंट मला वाटेल मी त्याच्या ह्याच्यातूनच बनवलाय काय की प्रोटोटाइप मधून तिथल्या.
टेलिपोर्ट. तिसरं
तू ते स्पायरल का केलं नाही? 2 दिवसात संपायले ते. प्रत्येक 100 प्रायमोजियम दिले ते प्रत्येक
कलेक्ट केलंय ते.
फ्लोअर. नाही नाही, सगळे प्रत्येक फ्लोअरला प्रत्येक चेंबरच्या प्रत्येक फ्लोअरला 100 प्रायमोजियम भेटतात त्याच्यामध्ये.
हा माहिती
मग तू सगळे केले का? 8-9 आहेत ते?
नाही नाही सगळे नाही गेले, मरत नाही ते आपल्याशिवाय.
मरत नाहीत का ते पुढचे?
6व्याच्या सेकंड फ्लोअरलाच माझे सगळे हिरो मेले.
असं का?
हिलर लागतं तुला, हे वाटल्यास मी करून देऊ शकतो हे, आणि चौथा बी देईल करून मी.
ते तिसऱ्याचे 3 स्टार केल्यावर भाला भेटते का बघ बरं, मला डाऊट आहे. मला वाटेल मला ऑलरेडी भेटला होता काय की भाला.
थांब आधी हिल करून आलो मी.
माझा एक काम कर ना, माझा चाइल्ड काढ
हा.
आणि एक आर्टिफॅक्ट आहे लेवल 5चं, वॉन्डरर्स काहीतरी म्हणून. तर मी एक चाइल्डचं बिल्ड बघत होतो, त्याचं काय म्हणणं आहे की त्याचे 4 पण लावा, म्हणून मला एक 5चं भेटलं. मी त्याला अपग्रेड करायला करून त्याला अपग्रेड
कॅरेक्टर
बघतो एकदा. अटॅक वाढवता येते कितीने तरी.
आर्टिफॅक्ट वंडर स्कोप 4 आहेत. तसं काय इनक्रीज चार्ज अटॅक डॅमेज बाय 35%. कॅरेक्टर अरे चार्ज अटॅक करतो का तो चाइल्ड?
ते असं बाण पकडून पाणी मारता येते ना.
हा तेच तेच.
हा ते करतो ना मी. ते
मग ठीक
उडून लावता येते समोरच्याला.
मग ठीक आहे मग.
हा ठीक आहे. चला मी लेवल 5चा वाढवतो, मग 4चे तसंच राहू देतो. जर 5चे भेटत राहिले तर हे करता येईल, है का
हे
नाही?
सगळं भेटतं, वंडर ड्रॉपचं 5चं सगळं भेटतं.
ठीक आहे, मग 4चे वाढवत नाही मी, 5च वाढवतो.
एक्सेल ह्याचं चेंज कर नाही, 4चं ह्याच्यात काय आहे का? नोबेला
मी अटॅक केले त्याला, 700-800 अटॅक द्यायला जवळपास ते. आणि आज आपल्याला रेझरचं हे पण करायचं, टॅलेंटचं करायचं.
करू की. कॅरेक्टर
लाईट बंद होती कारण पाणी गरम होता. ते आपोआप बंद होते, पाणी गरम झाले.
आसमान कोसळलं नाहीये, त्यांना माहित नाही पाणी गेलं.
काय माहित असते
त्यांना सांगायला बताना पडेल ना.
तुझं आंघोळीला पटकी नाही तुमचं करून घे.
करू दे, एवढं काय असं अटॅच नाही आंघोळीला. असं कोणत्या शिकायला भेटा द्यायचं ना मग.
विचारलं आपलं इतकं कॉर्डियल रिलेशन नाही का आपण त्यांना येणाऱ्या संकटाचे इन्फॉर्म करावं म्हणून. कॉर्डियल म्हणजे काय असेल सांग. चांगला शब्द होता, बरोबर आहे ना ते?
बरोबर
नाही तर काहीतरी वेगळाच अर्थ निघाल.
नाही.
मी कुठेतरी वाचलं तर ते आठवलं मला.
कोण चुकलं
मी काय म्हणणे सांगतो आता.
मस्त जोक मार रे, मस्त मस्त सुबह सुबह मस्त जोक मार.
आर्यन स्ट्रीम करायलास का?
चालू आहे ना.
ओके.
एमली इन पॅरिस.
अबे तू ते खराब केलंस माहिती का, ओढून ओढून
काय
बोर्ड.
नाही मी पूर्ण हात लावून ओढ.
तूच ओढतोस त्याला डायरेक्ट.
तो नव्हे, तो मी नव्हे.
रेड हँडेड पकडले मी तुला एक वाटतंय. अय मला एक सांगा आर्यन, आपण जेव्हा ते ट्रॅव्हलर जेव्हा असेंड होत आहे ना, त्यावेळेस ते दोन्हीकडे एकदाच होते का? मॉन्स्टर मध्ये पण लिव्ह मध्ये पण
हा.
आपोआप?
automatic होतं ते. तो
हा,
एकच
म्हणजे
आहे
त्याला
फक्त त्याचा कॅरेक्टर चेंज.
अच्छा ठीक आहे. कसं ते का मॉन्स्टर मध्ये पण लिव्ह मध्ये पण बंद केलं ना, आता उघडलं मी YouTube. बरं ते अजून एक गोष्ट आहे, एलिमेंटल मास्टरी आणि एनर्जी रिचार्ज मध्ये काय फरक आहे?
एनर्जी रिचार्ज मध्ये तुझं जे लागतं ना ते बाळ
एक
येल्लो बार आहे.
मला आवाज एक मिनिट थांब. हा आता सांग काय?
अरे येल्लो बार आहे ना तुझ्या शेजारी, तो म्हणजे एनर्जी
हा
रिचार्ज.
अच्छा, म्हणजे समजा शँगलिंग आहे हा. तर शँगलिंगचा जो एनर्जी रिचार्ज ते गुबा येते की ती मेन पॉवर येते?
हा एनर्जी रिचार्जने दोन्ही पण येतात.
दोन्ही पण येते का? म्हणजे जर एनर्जी रिचार्जचा मी भाला वापरला तर ते लवकर येईल
हा
आणि एलिमेंटल मास्टरीने काय होते?
एलिमेंट मास्टरिंग त्याचा डॅमेज आहे.
त्याचे डॅमेज वाढते. ओके, मग बघ आता माझ्या शँगलिंग कडे जो भाला आहे ना आता सध्या, तो एलिमेंट मास्टरी वाढवते, फिजिकल डॅमेज वाला आहे. आणि
चालतं
त्याला मी एकदा हे बी केलंय, रिफाईन बी केलंय. हे हे मी बी केलं पण मला दुसरंच होत नाही राव. आणि दुसरा जे क्रेसेंट पाईक आहे ना, ते दोन्ही फिजिकल डॅमेज आणि अटॅक आहे.
हा का?
तर मग कोणता चांगला आहे?
Another test subject.
मी ते क्रेसेंट पाईक उगाच बनवलं राव. आज क्रेसेंट पाईक आता जे पोलाम भेटले ना ड्रॅगन स्पाईन मधून, ते पण फिजिकल डॅमेज वाले वाटतं.
Freeze! Suffocate!
तू ट्रॅव्हलरला पण घेऊन आलास का सोबत? आणि सुक्रोज पण? अरे सुक्रोजने मार खाल्ला.
कहाँ है कंडेंसेशन फॉर्म, कहाँ है?
Out of the frying pan, it's prepare to be blown away.
3000 डॅमेज द्यायला आता तलवार ते ह्याची कधी कधी. काय ना ते रेझर
तुला आले का कंडेंसेशन ते?
मस्त रे मस्त. फक्त 6 राहिले, 5 राहिले, 5. मी एक व्हिडिओ बघितला होता, त्यात ते काय म्हणलं माहिती का, रेझरचं जेव्हा हे अल्टिमेट पॉवर ऑन असते ना, तेव्हा ते एनर्जीचं जे ई आहे ना, ते असं दाबून धरून मारायचं नाही म्हणलं. तो असं तू मारायलाच तसंच मारायचं. तसं बरोबर आहे का ते?
तो दोन्ही करू शकतो, दाबून
एक
मारू शकतो,
नंबर, एक नंबर.
क्लॉप होत.
लिव्ह नाव लिव्ह फॉर नाव कर. झालं 3 स्टार. पुढचं 3 स्टार आलेलं आहे.
नाही नाही नाही,
गरज नाही लागत.
करू 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 करू.
तर तिथं 3 स्टार भेटलेत मला ऑलरेडी. तरी कर ना.
डिफेन्स
नाही भेटलं त्याच्यामध्ये काय सांगतात नाही.
करून राहिलो. चालू ठेव ना. हो.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Swirl, Mark 2.
इमोशनल आहे, बघायला रे इमोशनल कोण मेलं
असं इमोशनल सीन बघायला गेलास आजकाल?
कोण मी
अरे तू भाल्यावालं बाणावालं कोणी आणलंच नाहीस राव.
आपलं बघत नसतं आपल्यावर वय होतं.
कोण मेलं, कशामुळे मेलं,
कोणला पण
कशामुळे मेलं, कोणाला पडली. ते हे असं असं का चमकतंय? असं जेव्हा तू चमकला म्हणजे ते इम्यून आहे का?
कसं समजतं?
बघ ना ते असं त्याच्या भोवती वाईट येईल होतं त्या ह्याच्या भोवती, त्या म्हशी भोवती.
डॅमेज देत बसतं ना त्याला.
काय काय काय
जेम्स बॉन्ड मेला.
चमकतं कधी-कधी. मला वाटतं तेव्हा काय होतं.
डिप्रेशन नाही, कोण कोण मेला ते बघायला. डिप्रेशन
शँगलिंग
असं जसं काय मी लईच काहीतरी इंथुसियास्टिक गोष्टी करणार आहे ना इथून पुढे. आता सकाळपासून जेवढा टाइम
हे
काय
करायचंय पूर्ण तुझं.
हा बघ बरं भाला भेटला का? लिव्ह फॉर नाव कर, लिव्ह फॉर नाव.
थांब आता.
बरं हे चौथ्यामधलं एक स्टार ने केलंय, दोन स्टार ने केलं वाटतं. तिथं मी हिला घेऊन गेलतो अजून एक आपली ती ती कावळ्यावाली हा बेनेट आणि सॅंगलिंग तेवढे नेलते मी गेल्या वेळेस. अरे काय आणि डिलुक भाऊ येत राव.
हा
तरी मला वाटलंच होतं ते पहिल्यांदा बोलले होतो जरा त्यांच्यामध्ये काय बोलली होती ना.
इमोशनल बघायला इमोशनल.
फायर नेशन अजून आलं नाही ना.
काय असतं
सध्या नेशन दोनच आलेत वाटतं, मॉन्स्टॅड आणि हे म्हणजे मॉन्स्टॅड एअरच आहे आणि ते जिओचं आहे लिओ, दोनच नेशन आहेत ना.
हा सध्या फायर नाही
डिलुक येईल मग फायर मध्ये एखादं. मला डिलुक पाहिजे राव. जर डिलुक मेन DPS केला ना तर मग फक्त बेनेट सोबत ठेवला तरी जमतंय किंवा शँगलिंग ह्याच्यासाठी.
Everybody stand back! You're toast!
तुला PC वर एम करायला जरा सोपं जात असं नाही का नाही बाणाचा माऊसने. मला इथं टच स्क्रीनवर एमच करता येत नाही राव.
Midnight Phantasmagoria! Teamwork is dreamwork!
मी एक व्हिडिओ बघितला काल, त्यामध्ये ते म्हणत होते की जर सपोर्टसाठी आर्टिफिशियल वापरत असाल तर ते स्ट्रिंगलेस चांगलं आहे म्हणून त्यासाठी एनर्जी रिचार्जसाठी. माझं नेट बंद पडला का तुझं पडलं?
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
पाणी मारायला तू. दहा सेकंद फक्त.
Get out of here! Goba, get you're toast! Everybody stand back! Keep back! Get back!
ग्रुपमध्ये मित्र लग्न बी केलं, स्टार्ट माहित नाही कुणालाच माहित नाही. डायरेक्ट त्या पोरीनं स्टेटस ठेवलं व्हॉट्सअपला, फेसबुकवर, तेव्हा कळालं लोकांना. पोरीनं ठेवल्यावर त्यानं पण नाही ठेवलं स्टेटस, त्यानं ठेवलं कळालं नसतं असं म्हणून. आणि
टॅग केला असेल ना तुम्हाला.
अरे बापरे.
टाइमवर नाही घ्यायचे, त्याच्या ह्याच्यावर हेल्थवर आहे. आहेत तिने पण स्टार अजून.
जा पटकन त्याला मारू देऊ नको एक. 65% हेल्थ बाकी त्याची. झालं 3 स्टार.
I summon wings insubordination. You're toast.
हेल्थ देत नाही तर प्रत्येक फ्लोअरला हेल्थ दिली पाहिजे.
By royal decree. Race you.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Keep back.
तिकडच राहिलं ते.
अवॉर्ड भेटलाय ते.
भाला भेटला का?
ऑलरेडी भेटलेला आहे भाला.
अच्छा जाऊ दे मग.
राहू दे, फ्री
आता फक्त हे भेटला. चल मी करतो लॉग इन आता.
यातलं काय घ्यायचं आता? आपल्याला फ्रीडम गाईड टू फ्रीडम लागतं ना?
हा
गाईड टू
ते
फ्रीडम
हे
लागतं, गाईड
करायचं.
टू रेजिस्टन्स बी लागतं. कुठलं
नाही
घ्यायचं?
रेजिस्टन्स पुढे लागते. जा बरं जबर.
तू काय बॅटल पास घेतला काय?
हो
कशाला पैसे घेतले?
असंच.
काय असंच?
अरे मी कुठेच रूमच्या बाहेर जात नाही रे. मला पैसे खर्च करायला काहीच नाही. मग एक तर खायचंय आणि गेम आहे. मग
गेम खरेदी कर ना. मग गाईड टू
गेम खरेदी करू.
फ्रीडम रेझरला लागतं.
घे कोणतं लागतंय ते रेझर साठी. त्याच्यातून घे ना. क्लिक कर त्याच्यावर पेटीवर.
एखादा गेम खरेदी कर.
कोणतं आहे ते?
हे स्टॉर्म टेररला मारायचं ना तुला, ड्रॅगनला.
स्टॉर्म टेररला का मारायचं आहे? हा मार बर मार. प्रेमोजेम आहेत का पण त्याचं सामान घ्यायला?
आहेत नाही. 48 थांब भेटतील ना.
मार 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 मार. मिशन पण आहे तसले.
48
हे काय 2 काहीतरी झाले वाटतं.
48 होतात. 2-3 तासाने
हे
मारा.
काय स्टॉर्म टेरर मार. आपल्याला हे पण आहे माझ्याकडे. एक हे पण आहे काय म्हणतात त्याला. एक हे बनवून ठेवलेलं मी रेझिन. त्याने हे करता येईल.
Add Astra Abbott.
वापरावं लागणार.
वापर मग. आहेत की आपल्याकडे भरपूर आहेत. 30 आहेत काहीतरी. कर स्टॉर्म टेररचं.
अजून 2 भेट.
कारण काय आलं ते पिवळं तिथं?
हे बघ हिरवा पिवळा. कॉन्सोलेशन.
बॅटल पास मधला चाइल्ड साठी बाण घेऊ का? बाण घेणार आहे मी.
काय त्याचं?
तो काय करतोय बघ ना. क्लिक कर ना बॅटल पास. याने बी ॲडव्हेंचर रँक वाढली का? ओके. मेमरी ऑफ काय आलंय ते? मुव्हिंग
कुठला?
37 वर जा ना. 37 वर. हा ते बाटली 5 स्टार होते त्याला.
हे तर आहे ना. बाण पाहिजे ना. 37
वाढलं
बाटली
काय?
यूज केली बाटली
अच्छा.
कॉन्सोलेशन.
काय झालं वॉरटेक्स जाऊ दे तिकडे तिच्या यायला. जा ना बॉट बॅटल पास मध्ये जा
बघितलं
आणि हा चांगला आहे का सांग फक्त जाय 4 नंबरचा बाण आहे.
अटॅक अँड क्रिट आहे. अपॉन हिट नॉर्मल अँड ॲनिमेटेड शॉट अटॅक हा 50% चान्स टू जनरेट सायक्लोन. हा ह्याचा आहे रे वेंटीचा आहे.
हो पण हा चाइल्ड साठी पण चांगला आहे म्हणाले सगळे युट्यूबर.
है का?
जर रस्ट नसेल ना तर रस्ट का क्रस्ट काहीतरी आहे ना ते नसेल तर हे वापरा म्हणून. ते नाही ना माझ्याकडं. ते जर मी चार्ज अटॅक वापरतो ना ह्याचा काय म्हणतात त्याला चाइल्डचा बाणवाला तर यानं तो एकत्र करते मग त्यांना आणि जास्त जणांना डॅमेज पडते एकदाच.
कंपाऊंड बो बनवलं त्यापेक्षा.
बो बनवायला नाही आता मी एक बनवला तू सांगितलास ते.
प्रोटोटाइप
कंपाऊंड नाही तू वेगळाच सांगितलास मला.
प्रोटोटाइप क्रिसेंट बनवला आहे तो.
बहुतेक तूच सांगितलं होतास मला बनवायला.
हा तो बी चांगला आहे हा बी चांगला आहे. ह्याच्यात फिजिकल डॅमेज बोनस आहे. ह्याच्यात नॉर्मल अटॅक करशील ना नॉर्मल आणि चार्ज अटॅक हॅज 4% आणि अटॅक स्पीड वाढतो 1.2%.
एसपीडी काय आहे एसपीडी?
हा स्पीड अटॅक स्पीड रे.
अच्छा
जरा एक बाण सुटत असेल तर तू पटकन सोडणार 4 अटॅक.
कोण कंपाऊंड
कंपाऊंड
बोका
हा
क्रेसेंट.
फिजिकल तू नॉर्मली जे अटॅक करतो ना 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 तर फिजिकल डॅमेज झाला.
अच्छा हा त्याचा एम करता येत नाही राव ते मला आवडतच नाही चाइल्डसाठी. कुणाला बी लागते मला ज्याला पाहिजे त्याला लागत नाही ते क्रेसेंटवर क्लिक कर बरं. क्रेसेंट काय करते प्रोटोटाइप क्रेसेंट तिथंच आहे बरोबर. आता आहे माझ्या बॅग मध्ये क्रेसेंट. शॉप मध्ये काय आले आहे
काय नाही कुठे गेलं बॅग मध्ये काय चेक करायचं. बॅग मध्ये काय चेक करायचं.
बाण क्रेसेंट
वेपन आहे. हा प्रोटोटाइप क्रिसेंट हा आहे ना अटॅक स्पीड कोणालाच नाही दिला तू.
हे मी वाढवायला होतो याच्यासाठी आपल्या काय म्हणतात त्याला चाइल्ड साठीच. पण मग मी रॉयल पास घेतला तर मग म्हणलं ते देता येईल म्हणून त्याला ते घेतल्यावर.
चालतंय.
चार्ज अटॅक हिट्स ऑन वीक पॉइंट्स इन्क्रीज मुवमेंट स्पीड बाय 10% अटॅक. सध्या जो माझ्याकडे आहे ना याच्याकडं त्याचं पण सेमच आहे असंच आहे बघ ना.
हा तसंच
वीक स्पॉट काहीतरी वाढवत आहे.
नाही इन्क्रीज डॅमेज अगेन्स्ट वीक स्पॉट आहे 48%.
आणि हे काय करतंय
ॲज अ चार्ज अटॅक हिट ऑन वीक पॉइंट इन्क्रीज मुवमेंट स्पीड आणि अटॅक्स. अटॅक वाढतो अटॅक पर्सेंटेज वाढतो.
मग कम्पेअर करून क्रिसेंट रिफाइनमेंट रँक 1 लाच आहे का ना. फर्स्ट डिझायर स्ट्रिंगलेस हे कर ना मार्च टॉम टेररला मग मी लॉग इन करतो आपण डोमेन करू.
अरे हे करावं लागेल आपल्याला मिशन कम्प्लीट करायला. मला
कोणतं
काय ब्लिंक करता ना मॅपवरती.
सॉर्ड ऑफ ब्रिलियंट वर अच्छा त्या माणसाने सांगितलेलं मला तर ते माणूस सगळं फेके मारते असं वाटायला त्याच्याकडे बघून.
फॅकच मारतात ते स्वाड भेटत नाही काय भेटत नाही.
लेवल 80च्या पुढे हिरोला नेता येत नाही ना आता सध्या?
कशाला?
हिरोला लेवल 80च्या पुढे नेता येत नाही ना?
लेवल 90 जातं मॅक्स हिरो कुठला.
अच्छा. मग तुला 90ला नेता येत असतील ना आता, का अजून तुझ्या वर्ल्डच्या पुढे पण आहे एखादं?
50 लेवल लागतं.
50? तुझं 46 आहे का ना, म्हणजे तुला अजून 4 पाहिजे. होतं ना तुझं लवकरच, काय नाही एवढं. सीओसीचे पैसे बंद करायचे आता, घालायचे. कंटाळा आला सीओसी खेळून आता. ते जरा चॅलेंजिंग वाटायला सीओसी पेक्षा गेम. त्याच्यात नवीन काय राहिलं नाही न करण्यासारखं क्लॅश ऑफ क्लॅन.
शोधायचं कुठं आता?
ते खायचं घे ना, फळ घे ना. त्याचा जॅम बनवतात त्या फळाचा. मागवायचं तुला, मागवायचं का? अरे करायचं सांग हा, अजून गाणं सेकंड फ्लोअरला गाणं.
Are they worshipping them?
Seems so. That must be the sword of brilliant valor, surely.
आहे ना तलवारी.
I'm going in. Eat this.
तो वेंटी इतका पण काय खास नाही राव, मी आता वापरला. म्हणजे सुक्रोज सारखाच आहे जरा, एवढा विशेष असं काही नाही.
अरे सुक्रोज असं गोळा करते डायगोनली, आणि वेंटी पण तुला असं एक पात सोडते ट्रॅव्हलर सारखा, सगळे गोळा करते सेट. दोघं सारखंच करतात.
Seems somebody tossed an old sword into a pile of spoils these hilly trolls were already celebrating.
This is in terrible shape, and it's so basic. I'm at a loss for words.
Say, Jack, have you ever seen an Anemo crystal fly? They're found in the open country around Mondstadt City. If you saw one in broad daylight, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. But in the pitch blackness of night, its brilliant glow is mesmerizing. It truly resembles an exquisite crystal dancing in the night air.
चाइल्ड
Is
सबमिशन
valor
नाही
not
केलं
the same? When everything is going your way,
मारता येणार त्याला. मी 3 वेळेस प्रयत्न केला आतापर्यंत त्याला मारायचा. तिसऱ्या लेवलला लयच मारायला आहे तो. उचलून फेकायला एकदम. पहिलं 2 सोपेच करायला, पहिलं 2 इझी लेवल, तिसऱ्यात मी अर्ध्यापर्यंत नेलं. आणि आता लेटेस्ट जेव्हा प्रयत्न केला तेव्हा तर तिसऱ्यात त्याने आल्या बॅक टू बॅक कॉम्बो बसला. मला एक मेलं माझं काय.
This is the sword of brilliant valor.
फूड कोणतं बनवायचं, मी बनवले होते फूड ते. पण मी जेवण मी एचपी वाढवायचं फूड बनवलं.
Let's scout around. It's definitely a Daru Bagorza.
अच्छा, ते गेम मधलं म्हणायला का? नाश्ता पण असतो ना, सगळं असतं. पिझ्झा पण आहे त्याच्यामध्ये.
What's he doing here?
He's acting so
त्याला पाहिजे होता डिलिव्हरी बॉय.
What happened? Why did you stop all of a sudden?
It's nothing. Just one of those Mora spouting weasel thieves passed by is all.
What? Where? I want to see.
Maybe another time. We have a shield to
जे
find.
महाग लागली ना, जे पळायला लागली ते असं तिकडून गेलं, इकडून आलं, पुन्हा इकडून आली ती बाई. मागच आहे त्याच्या ती दगड हातात घेऊन. ते थांबलं की मेलच समजायचं. स्ट्रीम मध्ये आता आपला पण आवाज जातो. कोण स्ट्रीम बघत असत ते मला असं लागतं काय हे.
अरे तू ते व्हिडिओ टाक ना तसे आपण काल ते मिशन प्रेशरचं मिशन कसं करायचं हे ते बनवून
त्याच्या ऑलरेडी आहे व्हिडिओ. तोच व्हिडिओ
मग
बघून.
टाकायचं टाकून पण हिंदीत टाकतो नाही तर मराठी.
मराठीत टाक मराठी.
अरे पण आपल्याकडे आता मिशन झालंय. हर्षलचा अकाउंट गेला मला.
अरे हा ते बरोबर आहे ते अकाउंट बनवतात आहे का नाही तसं करण्यासाठी.
हा. आधी स्वतः करतात एक अकाउंट घेऊन दुसरं अकाउंट बनवतात. तुझ्या ह्याच्यात तू नव्हतं सिक्रेटचं केलं मी अनहिडन स्पॉट ट्रेझर. त्याच्यात मला व्हिडिओ बनवायचा होता पण तुझ्या ह्याच्यात नव्हतं हर्षलच्या ह्याच्यात.
लाडू लाडू
काय नेमकं
असं करायला काय झालं आज हटून जास्त खाल्ले ना.
अरे ते हे कोणता लॅपटॉप म्हणलं तर हर्षाच्या मित्राने घेतलाय किती हजारला होता ते
1.5 लाखाचा काय तर लॅपटॉप आहे ना तो.
Lo and behold, the shield of magnificent honor.
1 लाखापर्यंत घेऊ शकतो.
आरोजीचा.
Liar, it's a chunk of wood.
किती पाणी आणतंय.
A chunk of scrap wood with the handle
किती पाणी
attached.
पाणी
Who in their right mind would use this as a
There's also wine stains on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was just taken from a wine barrel.
And yet, my bard's intuition tells me that this is none other than the shield of magnificent honor. Warriors wear their battle scars with pride, and shields are no different. Surely an intact shield is one that has shied away from the battlefield. Is not the broken and splintered shield the one that has fought in countless wars and lived to tell the tale? Though the soldier's body be tired and torn, still they fight till the very end, till they have no blood left to bleed. Such magnificent strength of will. Is that not the true meaning of honor?
You do have a point. Any new shields don't stay new and shiny for long. Okay then. Well, maybe if we ask nicely, he'll just let us take the Shield of Magnificent Honor for free. Mr. Hilly Churro?
अंडर पॅन्ट एवढी चड्डी कोणी घालायला सांगितली मग तुला जरा
You
मोठी
take
घाल
it
ना.
from here. Hope you've picked up some Hilly Churro in my house. If not, there's always body language.
आम्ही तुला म्हणलो ना आधी तू तक्रार केलीस तेव्हा म्हणलो
Uh-oh.
कसं काय
You
करायला
did
ते
not seem to appreciate that.
ते तुझ्यासारखंच करायला बघ
मारणं का गेले ते
स्टोरी चालू
टीव्ही स्टोरीसाठी वाट बघते.
Seems cheerful enough. Maybe we go shining over after all.
ओपन वर्ल्ड खेळायचं ना त्याच्यात फ्री व्हील असते
Uh-oh. He did not seem to appreciate
रिलीजियस सोबत
that.
डील करायचं इथे तर
Oh no.
काय
Tipped him off big time.
कमी झाली रे फ्रेंडशिप तुझी नो नीड टू सांग इतक्या डिटेल मध्ये जायची काय गरज आहे
He dropped the Shield of Magnificent Honor.
येस ऑन रेकॉर्ड
Guys, thank you so much.
मी
I
आता
can't believe I actually found them.
ग्रुपवर
Mom,
आवाज.
Dad, check out the legendary weapons I found.
इथं पोर लोक स्वतः धमक्या देते पॉलिटिशियन ते माझा आवाज
Hey,
नाही.
wait!
अरे भाषण असले
You promised! Aw, and I actually helped a lot this time.
मी आनंद गायकवाड नाही.
What are you doing here, Stanley?
स्टीमचा आवाज
Out
सुरू
for a
कर.
stroll?
त्याला आवाज जाते रे त्याने ते डिस्कॉर्डला हेडफोन घातलेले असतात ना त्याला आवाज जाते डिस्कॉर्ड बंद करतो म्हणजे हे करतो डिफन करतो त्याला आवाज येणार नाही.
Hey, what are you doing here?
काय म्हटलं
bud? Fancy that, huh? You,
Oh, that's right. An after
Mute
dinner
करतो
stroll to
तरी
be
मला आवाज
precise.
येणार नाही.
We were also helping a friend look for something.
Paimon's starting to think Stanley might be a fraud. Did Stanley plant the sword and shield here in advance so as to not hurt Jack's feelings?
Adventurers must be pretty familiar with Dadaupa Gorge. You fought battles here before, after all.
you better believe it. I can navigate this whole area with my eyes closed.
Wow. Then I admire your perseverance. And your memory, too.
It's only to be expected of a great adventurer like me. You guys had better watch out, though. This place is crawling with hilichurros. I'll get back to my, stroll now. Goodbye.
Guilty conscience much?
Well, he shouldn't have gotten so carried away bragging to Jack, should he? Although, on further reflection, I must say I'm intrigued. Someone who can't let go of the past and gives up on the present instead. I wonder, if such a person was forced to take their first step towards the future, which way would they go?
What are you talking about?
I'm just musing to myself. Anyway, I propose we take a trip to Angel's Share tonight.
मिशन इव्हेंटीचं किती मोठं अजून
सगळ्याच मिशन लेंदी आहेत रे. स्टोरी मोड जर असेल ना तर लेंदीच राहतं थोडस.
इतकं मोठं नव्हतं याने लयच ताणलं. सुरुवातीला बी ते बारक्या पोरांचे फ्रेंड बघायला लावले. ते ड्रॅगन स्पाइन एरिया मधला एक विलन मारायचा राहिला आपला मोठा रोबोट.
मारू की
माझ्या मागे लागला होता तो. मी दगड जमा करायला गेलो त्याला.
मारू की
मारू आपण. बहुतेक तो पण एक पेटी देतो काय की मला वाटायला असं.
Tell me, Stanley. Tell me, what should I do?
Huh? Why does he keep repeating his own name?
Surely not. Even I've never heard tell of a second Stanley.
Oh, Stanley. It should have been me. I should have been the one to die in the Melchivari that day. Why won't your spirit come and stop me from using your name? Why, Stanley? Why? If only you hadn't had to save a rookie like me, you would have never died in that windless corner of the world. You were a renowned adventurer, destined to become a legend one day. But now, that'll never happen because your life was cut short, and all because of a worthless tag-along.
Does anyone get what's going on here?
I think our friend really did make it to the Mare Javari. And I think the tragedy he encountered there was real too. But the real adventurer, the real Stanley, that was his partner, not him. the real Stanley is the one who died to save our Stanley.
Wait, so the only reason our Stanley is called Stanley in the first place is because he stole the other Stanley's name?
I fear that may be the case.
Stanley, for so many years I've lived in fear. Fear that Mondstadt will forget all about you. So I tell you adventure stories at every opportunity. Mondstadt must remember. Stanley reached the center of the Madrivari. He's the greatest adventurer there ever was, and he lives on. Stanley will never die, because I am Stanley. I am Stanley. I'm sorry, Stanley. I'm getting too old. Now. Are you guys planning on eavesdropping much longer?
Yikes! We're busted!
Go away. Save your questions. And just leave me in peace.
But...
Leave now. Don't make me tell you again.
Honorary Knight, Venti, and Paimon. I'm so glad you guys are here. I've been looking for you everywhere. I wanted to thank you again for helping me find the sword and shield. My parents are finally supporting me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. They even said they're gonna pay for someone to fix up the Sword of Brilliant Valor and Shield of Magnificent Honor for me, so I can take them out on the road.
That's wonderful! So, Jack, is this the part where you bid farewell to Mondstadt and set off on your intrepid trip traversing Tevat?
No, not yet. I still don't have what it takes to go too far from home just yet. Besides, I'm sure Stanley still has a few stories left to tell. They're what inspired me to become an adventurer in the first place. Stanley, Oh, you're drunk again. We'll see you tomorrow then. After your hangover wears off. Maybe you can tell me some more of your stories?
Stanley's really fond of that kid, don't you think?
Jack. Jack.
Jack left.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you for not telling him about my secret.
Huh? All of a sudden you're facing the facts? That isn't like you.
Just now, I couldn't bear to look at him. His adventurous spirit is so pure, unblemished. I'm just a weary old feckless fraud. But that kid is a brand new shining star, full of potential. I cannot allow his dreams to be crushed.
You're not a total fraud. Stanley's adventure stories and experiences. They're all true, aren't they?
Stories? Experiences? What's the point of them anymore? To be honest, my memories of adventuring and of Stanley, they're hazy these days. That's my biggest secret of all, and my biggest fear. All these years, I've been living to tell his story. But his personality and the details of his life, I don't remember them clearly anymore. But the one thing I can never forget is that he died in a windless land, where his spirit can never be recovered.
Exactly. Even in his memory, the real Stanley isn't the living, breathing friend he knew at all. Instead, he's become fixed on the image of him as that battle-scarred warrior, and that image has held him captive his entire life.
I'm too old. I never let go. But still, so much has slipped away. I'm completely and utterly worthless. No adventurer should have to go that way. No adventurer ever.
Hans Archibald.
My true name? How did you know? The wind. I can hear the wind blowing in the Mare Javari. I always believed you existed.
Will you hand me your old friend's spirit?
I can't believe it. Thank you all. And thank you, Lord Barbados. I'm sorry. It's gonna take me some time to calm back down. But I think that I'm gonna be okay.
Ah, wonderful! Stanley reconnected with his true self and Jack can finally go his own way. This calls for a celebration. And by celebration, I do, of course, mean libation.
And by libation, you mean you're not leaving this tavern till you're too drunk to walk, right?
No, the wine here's too expensive. Jack still owes me some wine, though. He promised me a rare vintage in exchange for helping him out, remember? I'll head off to fetch the wine. See you shortly. Let's meet at the usual place.
Huh? Where's that supposed to be? Why has Paimon never heard of it? Hey, Tone Deaf Bard!
नॅशनल मोबिलिटी कार्ड आलं बघ.
काय आहे त्याचं?
एकच कार्ड सगळं काम. डेबिट कार्ड ते शॉपिंग मेट्रो लागणार.
कोण इश्यू करायला?
गव्हर्नमेंट. नाही
You made it. Finally.
आता पहिली मेट्रो लाईन.
Just tell us where you meet next time, okay? We looked everywhere.
म्हणजे घ्यायचे कार्ड.
So, did you at least manage to find your wine?
Yep. Well, sort of. Jack made it out to be a rare collector's edition vintage. When actually it's just a half bottle of regular cider. This takes me back. The first time I saw this view, I hadn't even taken on this form yet. It was about 2,600 years ago, before the world had come under the rule of the Seven. At that time, Old Mondstadt was ruled by a tyrant, who sealed off the city's perimeter with a ferocious hurricane. Even the birds couldn't get in or out.
Old Mondstadt? Oh, Paimon remembers! Nowadays it's known as Storm Terror's Lair, right? You mentioned it before.
That's right. The Tyrant of the Winds who once ruled from that tower was Decarabian, god of storms. Back then, I was but a wisp among the thousand winds. I wasn't a god of anything. I didn't even have a human form. I was just a tiny elemental being who lived in the wind, a gentle breeze bringing subtle changes for the better, or tiny seeds of hope.
A tiny elemental being? Without a human form? Then do you mean you used to look different than you do now?
Yep. My current form is not so different from the situation with fake Stanley. I took the form of a friend. In Old Mondstadt transpired the story to be told, where a tyrant ruled. I met a boy not that old. The lyre he played, and for a song he sought. But storm walls blocked blue sky. He was sincerely distraught. do so wish to see the birds in flight, said he, his strong eyes filling with light. But his voice was lost in the howling wind's churn, for the whirlwind takes and gives not in return. The true sky and songs that cageless soar, were they not wishes worth fighting for? So the boy turned, extending his hand. Let us cast down the tyrant and his walls from this land. The young boy raised then the flag of revolt, and I threw myself into freedom's tumult. Victorious were we who fought to be free. Gods fell, winds whipped, nations shook violently. In the smoke, a despot met his doom, and we watched as his great tower fell none too soon. Mondstadt began anew, the story passed down, and since then never has another worn its crown.
So then what? What happened to your friend?
Say, Paimon, do you wish to hear the next part of the story?
Yes, of course. The suspense is killing, Paimon. Now's the time you suddenly get a craving for apples? Really?
Getting a little peckish or something.
Paimon's had it up to here with you.
You know, you're so smart it almost makes me uncomfortable sometimes. But then, maybe it's right that true friends can tell what the other is thinking. A refreshing drink, a gentle breeze. Moments like this always take me back. Back to a song that I first heard from him. Fly, fly away. Like a bird in the sky. See the world on my behalf. To the heavens may you fly.
काय त्याचा मित्र मेला का ते वेंटिंग मुळे काय म्हणलं तर मला कळलंच नाही.
अरे मेन वेंटी जे कॅरेक्टर आहे ना
हा
तेच
ते त्याचा मित्र आहे ना. अच्छा आणि त्या गॉडने त्याचं रूप घेतलं.
पार्टी
इथे तर आपली ती निंगॉंग आहे ना तिथे जर दगडे यांना मारता आले ना तर ते सगळेच मरतात त्याच्यातून फुल पॉवर मारून. बरोबर चाइल्ड मारता येते का? पण ते चाइल्ड मारल्यानंतर बी ते लय अवघड वॉर आहे ना पुढे ते अडॅप्टर्स ते वगैरे येतात. ते मी व्हिडिओ बघितलाय त्याचा.
करतो ते पूर्ण मी थांब.
फटून ते लय जण येतात त्याच्यात.
तेवढाच मिशन राहिला होता तुझ्या ह्याच्यातला सगळं मिशन. त्याला मग परत मिशन डेली टास्क राहतात फक्त.
ठीक आहे.
पण वॉर बघ ना लय भारी आहे बघायला माझ्यात ॲनिमेशन मध्ये.
मी ते गेम खेळायचं नाही ठरवलं होतं ना तेव्हा सगळी स्टोरी बघितली होती. कटसीन भारी दिसतंय ते. ते लय जण येतात मस्त.
ॲक्च्युअली मी तर शांगलिंग यूज केलं ते त्यावेळेस. ते निंगवॉन यूज केलं.
निंगवॉंग यूज करते. माझं निंगवॉंग 40 राव. पण चाइल्ड बी 40च येईल का मारता तुला त्यानं?
चाइल्ड कुठे घेतला
नाही त्याच्यात जे चाइल्ड येते तो 40चाच आहे.
ठीक आहे.
लय मारते ते 40चा चाइल्ड पण. माझ्या 60च्या चाइल्डनं मारता आलं नाही मला त्याला. ते तिसऱ्या सुरुवातीला येत नाही मारता, खूप इझिली मरता येते, साध्या साध्या बाणाने पण मारते, 4 बाण मारायची बी गरज नाही त्याला. पण ते थर्ड फॉर्म घेते तेव्हा जरा ते लयच चार्ज करते जोरात अंगावर.
इट शुड बी एलिमेंटरी ॲक्शन.
एक कॅरेक्टर येणार आहे पण पायरोचं, तर ते ना, तो त्याची जे फायनल जी पॉवर आहे का ती, तो स्वतःला डिमन बनवणार आहे म्हणून. इतका पॉवरफुल होणार की त्याची HP कमी होणार तो वापरल्यावरती.
It looked impressive enough from the outside,
सकाळी वाचलं मी
but who'd have
1.3 मध्ये
guessed
गेलो
that it
वरती
was even
कॅरेक्टर.
fancier on the inside? And so full
ते
of
प्रत्येक वेळेस ॲनिमेशन होते
This
पुन्हा
is
हे
where all
ह्याच्यामुळे पण लय
that's
माझं
more
डोकं
is
हलवतं.
minted, right?
पूर्ण होस
In
तर.
that case,
हम्म.
maybe they won't notice if a
पहिल्यांदा ना,
few more go missing.
एका रात्री मी बसलो
Oh,
होतो ना
so
त्या
it's a
दिवशी,
trap.
3 वेळेस केलं मी ते.
Tricky,
3
tricky.
वेळेस तेच राग आला
Good
मला
thing
ॲनिमेशन.
Paimon's got
नाही
you
स्किप
here.
करता यायला पाहिजे होतं.
But even if we can't take any, we can still have a closer look, right?
आपल्या त्या
Or
तलवारीचं
better
कधी येईल
yet,
आता?
take a nap
उद्या.
on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true. Oh, right. Back to business. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something as important as the Exuvia. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
जर 90-20 केल्या ना तर गॅरंटेड
You've
5 स्टार
already
कॅरेक्टर
fulfilled
भेटते
your
म्हणून.
task as guides, so why do you still linger here?
यावेळेस त्या
Haven't you already
90-20
seen
केल्या
enough
असत्या काय
trouble
आपण
for today?
अल्बिडोसाठी.
90-20 कुठे गेला तो?
नसतील केल्या का 9 वेळेस 5-6 वेळेस तर
If you
केला
were
असेल.
Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward
पुढच्या
from the
वेळेस जमा
Tsaritsa
करतो राव.
herself.
कुठलं कॅरेक्टर भारी आहे बरं असं जे
Now,
की
you're nothing but dross, and
डिलुक्स
you're
साठी
in
20
my
जमा
way.
करू.
प्रत्येकसाठी आहेत.
Where should I
Diluc आता
start?
random भेटणार.
Well, I've never been one to beat around
आता
the
त्याचं
bush, you
येणारच नाही
know.
का मिशन?
But who
येऊ
could have
शकते का?
possibly guessed that the
ज्यावेळेस
god
ते
of
फायर
Geo
गॉड
would
येईल तेव्हा येईल का?
mysteriously perish the
फायरचं
very
नेशन येईल
moment
तेव्हा
I
येईल
arrived in
एखाद्या
Liyue, and that the Exuvia would subsequently be hidden away. If it weren't for that
Mostly
lovely
shop
little
पुढच्या
rite of
month
parting
shop
ceremony,
change होईल ना. त्यावेळेस बघू
stopping
कुठं
the
लागतं
more
ते.
immense, hiding away the
5 स्टार कुठे
Exuvia.
येते त्याच्यामध्ये ते 4 स्टार देतात ना.
No, no, 5 star
So
बी
you've been planning to take the
Awesome.
gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that
ते
which
4
she
स्टारचे
desires.
लयच 5 राव त्याच्यातून नुसतं वेपनच देतात ते.
I'm not asking for your blessing, and
Character
there's
भेटत
nothing you
नाही
can do to stop me
मला
anyway.
चाललं- काय भेटलं कोणाला?
The time for
चालू-
discussion and
Amber
diplomacy is
भेटली,
already
Amber.
past.
Amber भेटली.
I mean,
मला
if
हे
it were
बघायचं
up to me,
प्रत्येकाचं त्याचं.
I would have
नाही
skipped
केलं
that stage to begin with.
पण त्या एम्बर
But I'm
पेक्षा
willing to
वेपन
do as
भेटलेलं
the
परवडलं.
Tsaritsa
एम्बर
deems
युजच
fit.
होत नाही कुठंच राव.
Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you.
जसं की शँगलिंगने येते किंवा आपण मारू शकतो म्हणून. माझा रेझर मेला काल एका ठिकाणी मी शँगलिंगने मारले सगळे.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
सकाळी मजा आली.
You could say that.
ते डुक्कर
When
माझ्याकडे
Signora
पळत
offended the deities
मला असं वाटलं
outside
की
the
ते मला
cathedral in
बघितलं माझ्याकडे
Mondstadt,
पळत येईल.
she swiftly left
माझ्याकडे
the scene
शँगलिंग
once her
होती.
mission was accomplished.
मी ते
Instead of
शँगलिंगचं
confronting
भाल्याचं
you
चार्जचं
directly,
बटन दाबलं बरं
she
का,
chose to
दाबून
rely
धरलं.
on the
तर
snow
ती
and
गोल
ice
फिरत
to
पुढं
make her
जाते ना.
escape. She
तर
wouldn't
मी
want the
इकडून गोल
knights to
फिरत
come running
उडत पुढे
towards
गेलो
the
ते
sound
डुक्कर
of
पुढे
battle
आले
now,
ध्यान
would
गेलं
she?
ते डुक्कर मला धडक बसून त्याच्या तोंडातच
When
भाला
she
गेला.
faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me,
ड्रॅगन्स बेन मला
the
एकदा
greatest
भेटले
pleasure
ते
of
अजून
being a
एकदा
harbinger
डिफाईन
lies
झालं
in
मला अजून
crossing
पाहिजे ते.
blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again.
Oh, so you intend to fight me?
चाइल्डचे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एवढे खास
Good.
नाहीत
I
राव. ते
won't
नुसतं
kill you,
त्याचं ते हे कमी
traveler.
करते.
I'll just play along
Time
to feel the
कमी करते.
thrill of battle. Besides, you could never
CD.
defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams.
आपल्याला
But hey,
रेझरचं
try to
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन
relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there?
त्या अल्बेडोच्या जर तू अल्टिमेट मध्ये असतील तर तुझं डॅमेज ते 210 ने वाढवते म्हणून.
हा
Fighting talk, I love it. Now let's see you live up to it. This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with a Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint.
पण चाइल्ड सगळ्यात स्टायलिश कॅरेक्टर गेम मधलं.
त्याच्या काहीच डॅमेज देत नाही.
चाइल्ड डॅमेज देते माझं.
Cowering already?
मला ते अर्धा झाला बघते. त्याने तुझ्यावर एम केले आता. गुबा गुबा.
Careful now.
तुला कसं लक्षात आलं की तो वर मारणार आहे म्हणून ते?
पिक्चर होतं ना. वाचला असतं
बेनेटची अल्टी मार याला म्हणजे तुला फिशलला रिवाइव करता येईल कधी. बरं ना त्यातला चाइल्ड स्टन होतो तर थोड्या वेळ आणि मी जेव्हा मारतो त्याच्यात होतच नाही ते कधी. तो त्याने असा मोठा अटॅक मारला ना तो थोड्या वेळ नुसतं उभा राहायचा. नुसतं मारायला आला आला भाला आला भाला. वाचला भाला नाही काय पण म्हणाल मी.
Reveal thyself.
Cowering already? A clear shot.
चाइल्ड आणायला पाहिजे असते लय लवकर होते आणि
Careful now.
दुसऱ्यापेक्षा
Keep back! Try this.
तो गायब होतो राहून.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
This realm is no home for a princess.
So quick to flee.
रेजरने मारणार आहे जवळ गेल्यावर.
You've made some progress.
I taste blood.
Guess I should take you more seriously. Haha, good. No wonder Senora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger. Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get.
हॅरी पॉटर मधलं सीन वाटते.
Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia.
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected. Well then, I'll be taking
हे
more
तुझे
axes
मास्क
than
आहे ना
noses now.
साईडचं त्याने डोक्यावर लावलेलं असते. मला असं वाटायचं त्याने डोक्यामध्ये ते पोरी
Well, this
नाही
is
केला
most unexpected.
होता काय की आधी म्हणलं हे काय फालतूगिरी म्हणलं हे असलं काय
You
लावलं.
do it, didn't
हा
you?
हा व्हिडिओ बघितला तेव्हा माझ्या लक्षात आलं अरे म्हणलं हे त्याचं फटोईचं मास्क आहे ते सगळ्यांनीच घातलेलं असते ना असं.
हे पाहिजे होतं राव गेम मध्ये अल्टिमेटला हे पाहिजे होतं.
This is going to cost you! Yeah!
दात पडले असते तुमच्या दोघीचे बी. तोंडावर पडले डायरेक्ट.
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me.
मामाला फोन कर काय म्हणत होते.
Move faster, or did you read
मामाने तुला गुड मॉर्निंगचा मेसेज केला ना तो त्यांना खाली काय डबेट म्हणून मेसेज केला तर
the Gnosis over?
काय काय नाही म्हणायचं.
Take it from you.
लय घाण गेला अर्धीच किती हेल्प त्याने. ऑटो पिक्सल नाही लागत.
Nice and spicy.
अरे चाइल्डच्या बाजूला ना असे हे काय करायला. त्याच्या पावरने गायबच झाली ती. ही कसली पावर याची.
Die here. Can't breathe.
काय झालं.
एक ॲबिलिटी असते
बाबो मारून टाकले ना त्याला. काय मारलं त्याने एवढं त्याला. जिवंत कर ना साईडला.
Everybody stand.
I taste.
गेला पळून राहतो. हा 11th हार्बिंजर म्हणजे सगळ्यात कमी पॉवरफुल आहे. यंग आहे. काय होईल मरायला की तो.
Off we go.
अच्छा ते हे होईल. अरे मला लेट दिसतंय हे का नाही.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Off we go. Adventure time. Ow. That really hurt. Out of the frying pan.
Die.
In pain.
You're cut.
मेला का चाइल्ड.
Child's back to normal again.
एक नंबर 30 से 27 दिन हे जाता जाता.
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I
सिनियर
consider
पाहिजे
the
राव.
matter
लस
more
पॉवरफुल आहे. तिने
carefully,
वेंटीला कसलं
you
मारलं.
never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis.
गॉडला मारलं तिने.
You had no connection to the Gnosis.
इज्जत काढली
No
त्याची.
matter
ती म्हणली
where it had
असलं
been
कसलं
taken.
पांचट गॉड आहेस तू.
That's what we've been trying to tell you. We didn't take it.
आतापर्यंत 3च हार्बिंजर
Your show
दाखवलेत
of
ना त्यांनी. हा
ability
चाइल्ड
today
एक
far
आहे. ती
surpasses that
सिनियर
of
आहे आणि
Signora's
ते
initial assessment
गागा
of you and
भट्ट सारखं
Mondstadt.
स्वतःची
Tell
डोक्यावर
me,
छत्री घेऊन हिंडणार
how
ते.
could that be?
ते एक.
You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep,
फिशल
I guess I'll just
मिशनच्या
have to
टायमाला
curb
आलतो
my
ते.
curiosity. This battle has already
म्हणजे
left
अजून
me
8
satisfied.
विरुद्ध आले नाहीत.
Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. I absolutely detest working with those who are weaker than I. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any dull and boring weaklings who think otherwise. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath
तुझ्या
Guyon's
साईडला
stone
कोणता boy
forest.
आहे रे?
A god?
Sacrificial नाही.
Osial,
Sharpshooter.
overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geo-Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned
मला
beneath
एक
the
4
waves
स्टारचा
by the
पवेलियन बोल
Geo-Archon
भेटला
stone
काल.
spears ever since.
दिसला नाही मला आता.
तो आधी
If such
बघ
an
बरं का मी
ancient
त्याला
god
हे
were to be
केलं
unleashed
माझ्या
upon
मी याला
Neo
लावलेलं
Harbor,
वाटतं माझ्या त्या
defenseless without the protection
ती
of its
बारकी कोणती
deity,
ती मांजर
do you think the
How
cunning
many
Rex
is
Lapis would just
energy
stand
recharge,
aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
काय माहित कोणता भेटला ते 4 स्टारचा काल भेटला मला एका
The
मी तर
Archon War
त्याची विश
ended
केली होती
2,000
ती
years ago.
साधी विश
How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the
तर 4
Seven?
स्टारचं वेपन ते भेटलं
Simple.
मला
I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
मग मी रिफाईन केलं का काय माहित त्याला माझ्याकडे
Those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching
तिने
them.
त्या रिऊन गाडलेले
Indeed.
भारी मारता
The
येते
one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing.
पुढे बघा आता.
एक गॉड जिवंत होते ना अरे मी जर हेडफोन लावले तर तो हे होईल का तुला आवाज येईल का माझा
Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed
नाही,
up by an
म्हणजे
ancient
व्हिडिओचा पण आवाज
malice
येईल का
once
तुला?
more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Neo, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
थांब मी बघतो लावू ना आवाज मस्त आहे इथं
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? Paimon's exhausted.
येतात तुला
If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Liyue yet, has it?
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy, even from all the way out here.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is... not necessarily.
What? Wait, all of you were supposed to be the guardians of Liyue. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands is here. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? It would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war beyond your wildest thoughts.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now. Yep.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong Ballista!
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness. That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward.
Ali.
Every last one.
Shadow Raven, let night fall. Out of the frying pan, into the pit.
Keep that!
The ancient gods attacking again. There are so many Fatui too. We can't.
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
Take me back.
Huh?
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is Adeptal energy. That light from your body. It's like the time in Julian Karst. Wow, it's Madame Ping's shockwave. This grade's really strong. Out of the frying pan. Race you. Race you. Everybody stand back. Boba, get them.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganyu's like in a fight.
Razor lauto na.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast.
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of Adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Race you. Look at me.
अरे तो फटके दस मरा लेते हैं
Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
We go.
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protected gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. So Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death, too? Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
One day. Okay, फुलं लागतात. निंगवान.
कोणते बघू?
हे ओके.
हे लाल.
ग्लेझी. ग्लेझी लिलिया.
घे ना, उचल.
राहू दे. खाली आहे परत वरती यायचं.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bay.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui?
दिवसाला 10 ते 15 भेट.
Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and make sure that everything is okay.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And you're also one of the Harbingers?
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements, and our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chio? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky, and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti 3,700 years ago. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come, until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You've finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. That's right, which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, So has Leo matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even tried to understand the heart of the people. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague child, just as I had requested. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path with me, traveler. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all.
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a Gnosis.
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we spent some... Much time trying to organize it. It would be a real shame not to go there now.
मस्त स्टोरी होती याची मॉन्स्टर पेक्षा.
Oh, well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit the nail on the head.
So Rex Lapis is really... But they didn't catch the culprit, did they?
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of the gossip on the streets you hear from those shady types is worth anything. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. I think they called him Child.
The Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious. Who knows what those greedy, crooked folks...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect you this time.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked, black-hearted scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have never heard of such a person in all my years.
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the Ministry of Civil Affairs has to say first.
Hear ye all, the Chising's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed. Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Chising's announcement said. So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this excuse sounds like something they just made up on the spot. Could the Chising already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But Zhongli said that neither they nor the Adepti knew anything. Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands? Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Let's go have a look. Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
And to think I'd put my best perfume on before coming here, thinking you'd like it. But it seems as if those perfumes really were meant to be offered to Rex Lapis. Well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals in love, they say. And that's 3 gone in 1 stroke.
Rex Lapis. Rex Lapis. Now that I think about it, if everyone's of the same mind as me, perhaps mementos for Rex Lapis might be the best short-term business opportunity.
Matari.
As for the mortals and adepti of Liyue, what shape shall our relationship take from now on?
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Xinyue kiosk.
That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Xinyue kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do lack the Mora.
But why would Morax lack Mora?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder. Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed. Yes, the nation has been closed by order of its deity, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the 1,000-armed, 100-eyed god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems the fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know? Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, the reason why the Chising were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead. I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation. Have patience. I suspect that some serendipity must first come into play.